Hello there, everyone. I'm back again, and sorry if I look a bit blue. I think my shirt here is playing tricks with the camera. I just came back from a bike ride, so if I look a bit tired and sweaty, that's why. Anyway, I've been really enjoying Jim and Peter's stories, and I thought they might like to know a little bit about the people listening to them, so I figured I would tell a little bit about me and where I'm from. My name is Matt, and I live in Brooklyn, in New York City. I'm from Philadelphia originally, which is about 2 hours south of New York, and I have now been living in New York for about 6 years. So there's probably a lot of misconceptions about Brooklyn, so I figured I'd tell people a little bit about it. First of all, where is it? I don't have a good map. This is the best thing I could find. Brooklyn is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. There's the map here. I can show you a little bit more sooner. The confusing part is that New York City is in New York State. So for people not from the States, I might need to explain that a bit. New York State is one of the 50 federal states that make up the United States, and then within that there's a city called New York City, so it gets a bit confusing. And New York City itself is made up of what are called the 5 boroughs, or 5 counties, but they all are part of New York City and one municipality and run by the one mayor, and Brooklyn is one of them. So let's see if I can do this. So if you ever come to New York, you'll probably end up, this is hard to do, coming to Manhattan. Manhattan is what most people think of as New York. It is where the Empire State Building is, where the World Trade Centers used to be. Unfortunately, they're not there anymore. Where the Metropolitan Museum is, where the Central Park is, where the Guggenheim, pretty much where all the tourist things are. And Manhattan is an island. It is about 12 miles long and about 2 miles across. So that's 20 kilometers long and 5 kilometers across. Now, hopefully you can still hear me. The other 5 boroughs are the Bronx up here, which is the only part of New York City that is connected to the mainland. The rest are islands. Then you have Queens. Whoop, where's Queens? Queens is right here. And you have Brooklyn right here. Now Brooklyn and Queens may look like they're part of the mainland, but they're actually the western tip of Long Island. Long Island is about 150 miles long, about 300 kilometers long. And the western tip is comprised of Brooklyn here and then Queens. So geographically they're all on Long Island, but no one ever says they live on Long Island if they're in Brooklyn or Queens. They say they live in New York City. If someone ever says they live on Long Island, it means they live on the parts of Long Island that aren't Brooklyn and Queens. Alright, so you have Manhattan, you have Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Brooklyn, and last but not least is we have over here where my thumb is, I have Staten Island. That's the 5th one. So what's Brooklyn like? Well, it's hard to say. It's a very big place. There's over 2 million people living in Brooklyn, so like any large city, there's good parts, there's bad parts, there's rich parts, there's poor parts, there's pretty parts, there's ugly parts. But in general, Brooklyn's a very interesting place. It, after Manhattan, it's probably the most popular borough in Brooklyn, and a lot of that, popular borough in New York, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Brooklyn was its own city until 1896, and then it incorporated with New York. What's the lifestyle like here? Well, it's very urban. Most people live in what we call the Brooklyn brownstones, which you can see a picture of there on the top. They're sort of the typical, I guess in the UK you'd call them attached houses, sort of like you'd see in parts of London. They were built originally as single-family homes, but now mostly all of them have been converted into apartments or flats. So you'd have maybe a 3-story single-family home, which is now converted into 6 apartments. And that's what I live in. I live in one of these, I live on the 3rd floor of one of these converted brownstones. And I'm going on 5.5 minutes now, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. And next time I'll come back and I'll talk a little bit about what we do for fun in Brooklyn. So, hope someone sees us and likes it. Bye.